Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Young Black Equestrians, the podcast. Today we had the opportunity to talk with Stanford Moore. Stanford is the creator of Black Reins Magazine. He has created a platform to showcase the history and present day of Black horsemen and women. From his early years with horses to his current horse endeavors, we discuss business ownership, representation, and the importance of Black equestrians controlling our own narrative. Keep listening and take notes as we hear more from Stanford.
You are listening to Young Black Equestrians, the podcast, with your hosts, Abriana Johnson and Caitlin Gooch. We've been starting off our episodes with just telling everybody, our listeners, one thing that we are thankful for today. So if you want to go ahead and share something that you are thankful for.
Well, I'm thankful for life, for making it 49 years.
Yes.
With a sound mind, body, and all my teeth. But I'm excited. I mean, God gives us so much to be thankful for. Thankful for knowing you guys. I'm thankful for being highlighted. A chance to get to speak to everybody today. To let them know a little bit more about me and Black Reins and all the things going on. Horse, equestrian, and humanity community that we're a part of.
That's very good, very good. Caitlin?
I'm thankful for the rain. So glad it rained.
Yeah, me and Rosalie were stuck in it yesterday.
Oh my goodness. But I'm glad it finally rained. Because it felt like it was going to rain some days, and then it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. It did cool it off.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was high.
Yeah.
Horses out here sweating.
Mm-hmm. All right. I am thankful for finally getting an email back from this veterinarian that I've been trying to work with to finish up my master's. So it looks like I'm finally going to be able to create some kind of project that'll satisfy my final requirement. So I will be graduating in the spring, and I'm super excited.
Awesome. That's worth being thankful for right there.
Yes. So, Stanford, if you want to just briefly tell us about yourself, where you are located, and kind of what you do.
Stanford Moore. I'm a native of North Carolina, Hosty, North Carolina. Grew up and born and raised all the way up to 18. I grew up on a big old farm, a 700-acre working farm. My grandfather was primarily a hog farmer. I mean, he had about 5 acres of hogs. I mean, probably 1,000 or more hogs that he would sell. And had a few cows, goats, and chickens, and all those other things. And it gave me a rich lifestyle of life. I grew up hunting and fishing and all those things on a daily basis. Like nothing. And I didn't appreciate it until I got older. I was almost ashamed of it growing up. I wasn't ashamed. I was happy when I was on the farm, but it seemed like, growing up in the country, country kids that don't wear all the designer clothes and leftovers and hand-me-downs. It's a different thing among the kids. They look at you different. They pick on you and all that stuff. So I didn't really appreciate it until I got older. To realize, man, what kind of hard work it's building me to give me the drive that I have today. And I left there, and my mom got mad because she wanted me to go straight to college, but I didn't. I joined the Army like my older brother who was in the Marine Corps. Commission recruited me from IBM, where I met my wife. She was in school at North Carolina Central. We then moved to Raleigh, not too far from Caitlin, right there in Nightdale. And when I met my wife, what brought me into the equestrian community, I met my wife. My wife's uncle is he knows Caitlin's dad, Don Booth, and they both were some, I would say, competitors on the track. Meaning, my uncle raced out of Ashland down, south in Louisiana, and so I was kind of excited about that because it gave me a chance to get that farm life again. So I would go out there and volunteer to help out on the farm, and he kind of took me under his wing and showed me the ropes and got me into the teaching me how to manage a big farm. And when I say a big farm, it's a big farm. When I left, he had 180 horses on that property, and he still rented to a farm in West Virginia, Louisiana, track. So he had a lot of horses, and he showed me the business of horses on the professional side. And so that's all I knew. I knew horse racing, and my uncles growing up on my mom's side were standard bred horse racing. So I knew harness horse racing, and I knew quarter horse thoroughbred racing. And I came up doing that and kind of totally sold out on it. That's all I had was blinders on. Went to a couple of the trail rides locally in that Raleigh area coming up. My uncle was basically pushing us to lock in on what makes money. And that's the racing side. And I went through, I remember going to your ranch, Caitlin, your guys been watching a couple bush track races and seen Harrison Todd racing as a kid, and I was fascinated by that. And I was just sold out on the horse racing. I mean, me being a corporate guy on the engineer side, I love suit ties and sitting in skyboxes, watching some big races and seeing my horses run. Just the pound of horses coming down that stretch was everything to me. And then what happened was, my parents both got, I would say my mom went through cancer, my dad went through cancer, and they eventually both passed away. My mom got sick, my dad got sick. My mom passed away in 2014, and then my dad turned around and passed away right 3 weeks behind her. And what they did was, they kind of, me and my wife ended up saying, okay, we spent all these years in North Carolina. Now it's time to be a little closer to my parents. Her parents were in Atlanta. So we packed up and moved to Atlanta. And so I've been in Atlanta since 2014. And actually 2013, we moved because my wife left before me. And I came 6 months a year late. Because I had to, get the household and all that stuff. I moved to Atlanta, and what that did was it took me off the track of Fourth Street. And so I was kind of pulled away from it for a while. And so it gave me a chance to stand back. And I remember everything changed one day when I was in Atlanta. We were living with my wife's sister and my sister-in-law. And I was coming down the street of in Atlanta. We talking Boulder Crest, over on the Ellenwood side. And I was coming down the street, and I promise you, it was about 25 teenagers and early 20s guys coming down the street. Bareback saddles, sneakers, hats. Some of them didn't have shirts on. They were coming down the street on horses. There was about 25 of them. And I stopped the car and pulled it over. My wife was like, where are you going? I'm going to go and talk to these kids. So I turned around, and I pulled them over and said, hey, man, where y'all come from? And because we in the city. So I said, where are y'all coming from? They said, right down here from Walmart. I don't know what Walmart is. They keep sitting down the street, right? It's a Walmart. Across the street, there's a stable, and down the street there's one. I pulled over here. So they said, go check my. I said, look, I got one. I would love to bring my horses. I didn't take nobody here ride. They said, what? That's a whole lot of it. So I go down the street, and in front of Walmart, there's a guy named Mark. And Mark had about 43 horses out there on about 4 acres of land.
Oh, my goodness.
It was horses everywhere. Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah, man, I told him I had horses. I love to bring them. And he was like, no, I don't have any room. Go check with Antonio around the corner. I go to Antonio. There's probably about 100 horses on 4 acres of land.
Oh, my God.
It's stalled in a ring. It's just like one big arena in the middle. And then there's about, we talk about 75, 100 stalls all around the property. And he said, yeah, go across the street, there's Teddy's. There was Teddy's across the street. Mm-hmm. The Teddy had about 24, 25 horses on his property. And so Teddy, I call him Mr. Teddy. This Teddy came out, and he happened to be there because this was during the day now. I was off. He happened to be there, and he said, hey, he said, where you from? I said, North Carolina. He shook my hand and said, I'm from Kansas. So that bridged the relationship right there. He said, I'm from Kansas. Yeah, I have a place for you. As a matter of fact, go around there. He said, go get your horse, and I had 2 stalls ready for you when you come back. And that was that. I went and got my horses and brought them back weekend. I was right in North Carolina and went back out there because I had left my horse in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. I brought them here, and when I did, it allowed me to immerse myself in the culture. Mm-hmm. And the culture was, just the south side of Atlanta alone, there's probably 500 black cowboys in Atlanta. We talking hang out at the barns every day, ride. They beat the streets. They're down in the cities of Atlanta. And so it allowed me to bring my horses here and give me something to do. Remember, I was just moving here, didn't know a lot of people. And I was doing public speaking at the time. So every Tuesday and Thursday, I was speaking about business diversity and stuff like that, how to acquire and start a business. So about 200 people right there in right in front of Lennox Mall, right there in Buckhead. So I was already doing business, but it allowed me to give me something else to take my mind off that and do on the in between time. So I would go get my horse, pull them out, and groom them during the day, and put some groundwork, just to stay busy. But it allowed me to, when I say immerse myself in the culture, it allowed me to talk to people that just love horses. They just love these guys and men and women that they work in corporate America and sometimes get away from the busy life. They love taking care of them, grooming it. They don't even have to ride. A lot of them don't even ride off the property. They stay in the arena, but they just love something to do. So it allowed me to sit down and talk to them and trick their knowledge. Most of them didn't know my background. They didn't even know I was doing public speaking. I was just kind of hanging out, interviewing, just talking to people, getting to know who they were. Yeah. But nobody started to ask what I did. You see me just going up in a suit. They never asked me what I did, but that was fine. I was fascinated by what they did. Mm-hmm. And what I learned was most people knew what they had in horses, but they didn't understand the background that went along with horses. Like some of the people that paved the way, like Tom Bass, Jesse Stahl, they didn't know who those people were. And here I am. I was always fascinated by the beginning. And so I would always do my research and all those other things, which most people just don't care about. They just want to ride.
Right.
And so I was doing my seminar one day. It was supposed to have a crowd of about 200 people. So in the end, I always opened it up. And I said, look, it's very easy to start your business, and I gave my whole spiel, and I said, anybody got any questions for me? And one lady asked and said, made a statement, and she raised her hand, and I remember this clearly, and she said, I see you and your wife doing these things, I follow you guys online. It's easy for you guys to do a business, so you got a look about you, you're tall, you speak well, but I'm always intimidated by approaching people and I just don't know how to get started. I said, well, there's opportunities all around. I said, you find an opportunity, wearing a suit, and I wear my old cowboy belt buckle. You see this little shiny buckle in my boots, and I show up in a cowboy hat. I said, most of you guys don't know, I really ride horses. And I said, as a matter of fact, just before I got here, I stopped at Tractor Supply. I picked up a couple bags of feed for my horses, and I stopped off and fed them on the way in my suit. I said, and I said, you know, I said, every time I go to Tractor Supply, I take time to stop out to go to the magazine rack and flip through the publication. I said, now, I picked up over the last few days of every time I went about 30 publications. I said, raise your hands on how many people you think are in there that look like me. Western publication or Western publication.
Yeah.
And nobody could get it. And I said, I think it may have been 5. I said, the 5 I did see, they weren't on the pages by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so that's an opportunity. And when I said that, the light bulb went off in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Ding, ding, ding. And so I said, you know what? As I drove home, I said, there's no diversity in these publications. I said, so hold on, let me go on this research. I started Googling, black cowboys, black equestrians. And what I found was there's not a lot of information out there on African Americans and the whole lifestyle of equestrian, horsemen. It goes way back to black and white.
Right.
Anything in between is kind of like a bunch of trail riders taking photos and selfies of themselves and trail riding and cowboys. But we're talking about the professionals that, you know, like we said, the Tom Bass, the Jesse Saul. It always go all the way back to black and white, Jimmy Lee. You know, so I was like, man, what happened? Did they just wipe us off the map? What happened in between?
Right.
What happened in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s? You know, you see Lou Williams, you know, as far as breaking records and harness races, but it's always something like the first African American, you know, like Lou Williams breaking the harness race, one in the Hall of Fame. It's always something of great that happened to break us through, not the information of the daily news of just us participating in what happened. And so, doing that research, I started researching publications. I said, I can't find one. There's just not enough information. So what I did was my wife and I would sit down, put a website together, put the page together, and said, I'm going to work with an end in mind. I would love to have a daily news circular or a publication that could show our greatness.
Right.
And so that was the motto. So I took a whiteboard and I started writing on the whiteboard everything that I wanted to look like, youth in mind, you know, athlete, bringing some diversity. I started writing all these things and started looking at the history and do no negative. And so that's how we came up with the name Black Reins. So I had to put all that together within a week, and we started coming up with names. And so we had to start with names based on what we wanted to stand for. I wanted Black Reins to be an African American publication or a publication that spotlight, not necessarily solely about all black things. It could be white, it could be Puerto Rican, it could be Mexican, it could be anything. So we're not limited to that. But I wanted to be a publication that spotlighted African American in their great achievements.
Right.
Because what I didn't want is, I know that without great exposure and to the public, especially to tomorrow's youth, we will end up dying out because it won't look as sexy as the opportunities won't be in front of them to even want to aspire to them. And so I came up with the name Black Reins, African Americans controlling the way media portrays them. And so that's where the reins came in. So Black Reins.
Yes.
We control what you see and what tomorrow see, what you see. And so that's the name, the whole concept of Black Reins. I started trying to put some positive content on the page. And as we grew, we were always soliciting writers. And what I was very disappointed in my first year, from 2014 to about 2015, I did not get one person. We kept putting out, we're looking for contributors, looking for writers, looking for contributors. There was every 2 weeks, I would always say a white woman or a white girl. We just a lot of people around the country that have properties and farms that knew somebody. Oh, Mr. Jake or Mr. Harris worked for my dad since he was a little boy. His family still works with us on the farm. We would love to feature him and get him on the page. And so all these, I was kind of just, to be an African American man, I was disappointed because I said I can't get any black folks to want to write for a black publication.
Yeah.
What? And so the whole thing, I had to wrap my mind around everything that I found written about African Americans coming up as I did my research was all written by a white journalist. And I said, and I just found that we talk different when we're talking to in front of ourselves.
Right.
And so I was like, man, I want some black writers because there's a style of writing that African Americans can pull from not from just the reader, but from the person they're interviewing. You just talk different.
Right.
And it makes a difference in how the content comes out to the reader. Mm-hmm. So I wanted a bunch of black journalists before we cross over to white journalists and to keep it authentic. And I was a little disappointed because I went literally 2 years before anybody contacted me outside of what I probably had 30 white, from young girls to older women inboxing me and would love to contribute or sending me information. They still do today to my inbox, and that's where most of the content comes from. And so, and the first person was Trisha Kelly. Trisha Kelly contacted the magazine through an inquiry and said, "Hey, I would love to. I found your information online. I found your magazine. I just love horses. I would love to contribute in any way." So she reached out to a friend of hers named Monique Medina. Monique was already a friend. Monique was like, "Oh, you talking about Stanford? I know Stanford." And she put us on a three-way and said, "I found you online. I didn't know you live right here in Atlanta." And I said, "Yeah, I would love to." So we sat down and talked. And she's like, "I just want to help out him anyway. I'm not a writer, but I would love to help out him anyway." And then, Charlene was like, "I went to church today, and she said, pastor told her, we need to," because she was retiring, and she said, "You need to find something to do. You need to sit down and write something that you're excited about. Just write about." And she was excited about saddlebred. She would never own a horse, never rode. I think at the time a saddlebred horse, and she dated a guy that trained saddlebred horses and said, "I love saddlebred horses." She travels the country, goes to all the shows. And she said, "I just want to write about saddlebreds. Okay, if I come on and write for your magazine." She found it online as well. And said, so there's Charlene, and the stories go on and on and on about people contributing, and I was excited again. So it gave me new life. And that new life sparked putting out my first print issue. So we built a team of writers, and what the next challenge was, when we were going around the country to all the events, a lot of these events are predominantly white, and they have a few African American participants as far as indies, rodeos, and hunter jumper events. So we were soliciting media requests, and a lot of them were denying us media requests. Because we wanted to come out and write and speak to the people to say, and they were denying us because they said, "Yeah, we see your online publication, but is that serious? Like blog or whatever." So I said, "You know what? I'll fix things up." I went back and said, "You know what? We're gonna get us a print, and we need to get us a print magazine because that print magazine in hand is gonna go a lot farther."
Right.
We started getting these media requests, and that's what we did. I said, "I gotta do print, and I gotta present myself as a print publication, even though it's very hard to do, just so we can allow us to get in some of these participate." So now it's easy to get a media request because they know we have print available.
Right.
So that's where we are today, and just having fun, man. At the end of the day, it's not about money. We're not making money. It costs me just to ship a magazine to your house. That's why most big publications are going away from print. It's so expensive. And it costs just in the early infancy stage like where we are today to get it to your house for such small fun. But I think on the backside, it's creating such an interest with the momentum that's going on in the whole farm and ranch community and the sport of horse racing and everything. I think it has created a whole new excitement among people, and I think we play a part in that, creating excitement and getting people back into horse, back into watching, just taking an interest in everything horse. So I'm excited about that, and just calls like what we're on today, I would think it just creates so much excitement in that community, and that's where we were once dominant in the late 1800s and early 1900s.
Right.
That's my point.
So, I mean, I know the answer for myself and for us, but I'll ask, we're in the era of Old Town Road, the Get Up, things that are kind of putting the black cowboy in the spotlight. Do you think that this is more of like a fad or like an opportunity that we're just gonna kind of hop on this ship and go? Like, what do you think the future is for, the exposure that the black cowboy is getting pretty much this year?
Well, I think this exposure lies in people like yourself and me, to keep it from being just a fad. And let me tell you why. When you're getting opportunities like this, when doors are open for you, you have to be careful of how you present yourself going forward. Because now, it's almost like having the media out to your house because you saved somebody out of a burning house. Now, when you invite the media in, they get one shot when that camera comes through that door. Are you going to clean up before you open the door? Or are you going to just leave the cereal on the kitchen table?
Exactly.
With clothes not picked up. So I think you have to present yourself well. Because what sustains us is not just exposure, but money.
Right.
Money drives the athlete, not the novice. And so just showing country cowboys and us riding horses is just one thing. But the money sustains us. The athletes out front sustains us. If you notice through Black Reins Magazine, most of the time I feature people in that athletic state, meaning if there's a barrel racer, I'm all for that. I push that, and Caitlin knows that. Just Caitlin in 4-H. So things that are important that will sustain us, I put focus on, because I know it's just not the person that goes to work and got a horse at the barn and they just go and feed and put them in the round pen. No, it's a little more than that. To me, it's the African Americans in the international games, where the equestrians and the longes. It's the top roper out there. These are the people that when you talk about credibility and when they see us, they know that there's a Fred Whitfield or Corey Solomon. Now I think they take a second look. It's like, wow, these cats are competing on a high level. And so when they see us, I want them to have something they can get out and root for, because when you open up a publication, it's not a novice person riding through a meadow that they're getting excited about. It's usually the athletes and the brands that get behind these athletes that's going to carry it. Because it wasn't, remember when I said I pulled out these publications and started flipping through the pages? It wasn't that you just didn't see a black face, but the black faces have to be competitive enough to be featured, meaning we need to see them at the top of their game so you will see yourself beside Corey Solomon or Fred Whitfield. So we only got a few at the top, and we're not at the top because we just don't have enough numbers to compete on, to compare to other races in their numbers.
Right.
And so once we flip that tide and get kids interested, I always think our future is, and this is what Old Town Road brings. What made that song number one is not the older adult, it's the youth that got excited about horses. I can go through every household and I can't find a kid that won't get excited when they see some horses.
Yeah.
Every kid grew up excited about, every little girl wanted a pony at birthday. Every little boy would love to have a I don't care how wealthy they are or how poor. And so it's a unified animal that brings us all together. But when you grow up not seeing yourself in that position, it's like a kid growing up wanting to be a teacher. If you've never seen a black teacher, you'll never aspire to want to be one.
Exactly.
So I think now kids are so excited, and you show them when you have a page like Black Reins or a podcast like this that you can put kids on and create some excitement. They now see themselves. When you can see a Corey Solomon daily or out front or in publication, that keeps your dream alive as you grow older. And now you got parents that can see other kids. This is one thing I had back in 2014. 2014, when I was back here doing articles, trying to put together some content for publication for articles, people to teach it. So I was finding that there was a lot of parents out there running into challenges within their sport, being the only. It wasn't them because they understand life a little better, but for a kid coming up not seeing themselves, and they're saying, I'm in a mini bull riding, and I see all these white families, white kids, but where's myself? Where's the image of me? I don't have no other black kids. It gets frustrating for a little kid that don't get to see themselves. And so I have all these parents on the phone trying to talk to them about doing articles. And they say, yeah, he did it 1 year, but he's not excited. Now he wants to play football because he just doesn't see himself for the kids in his neighborhood that wanted to do that. And they thought it was weird. So I found that a lot of parents were getting frustrated because their kids were losing interest. So I did a conference call. And so I had kids in California, 19-year-old barrel racers, young girls, young boys. I put them on a conference call so they can all talk to each other. They can lean on each other because the frustration was there as parents because it's expensive. And then you're trying to keep a kid going, and it's costing you and your single mom check everything to keep this kid in a jumper, and it's expensive, and the kid is now second guessing it.
Yeah.
So I found that the term is right around 12 years old. And so at 12 years old, kids kind of start going through puberty and they fall out of interest in their equestrian sport. And so if you don't have people to finish that race, we won't have top athletes that can compete on the backside.
Right.
And so without that, they won't see themselves, which won't inspire them to want to dream of something greater than what they're doing. So getting back to Old Town Road, it has opened up the door and the excitement in our youth to now want to research and take their iPads and their computers and mama and there's other cowboys. I want to be a cowboy when I grow up, or equestrian, or a horseman and do horse racing. That's the excitement that we have to see. Yeah. And so in order to keep it from just being a fad, we have to keep that fire lit in our little 4-H organizations and get these kids dirty again, get them outside, get them playing, and that's going to result in some athletes in the equestrian side later in life. We got to watch them grow up. You just don't be a teenager or early 20s and just want to get into barrel racing and now go straight to the top. The chances of that is pretty hard because you got to like. But if you can grab a kid very young and get them excited early, and so they can hone their skills. And so by the time they are in their late teens or early 20s, the sponsors will come looking like, man, this kid is awesome. With the right horse, they'll have a chance to do some great things. That's when you can now get excited about having some other top athletes. With those top athletes, bring diversity, and now people start looking at this system like, wow, man, we may need to look at more African American communities. These people come from places that don't necessarily look like what we're used to. We need to open that door up. And when we open that door up, you can find some inner city youth and some youth around the country that were just inspired just by Old Town Road and want to do it, and then they stuck with it, which resulted in great things.
Yeah.
Now, the adults to me will probably, if we don't seize on it, it will probably fall off from the adults because it's hard to duplicate that. That momentum that he had. But with the kids, the fire is lit.
Yes.
And that's what I'm excited about.
Yes. And like you said a few minutes ago, with and I know I've talked to several people about Caitlin, what was it called that just came out? Black Country Production. Oh, Black Country. Duh. The documentary. Yeah. So my I had the same kind of opinion. Like, you know, once you put the spotlight kind of on some of the things that we do, you know, it's like, all right, do you want, you're going to get all the attention, whether it's good or bad, you know?
Absolutely.
So some of the stuff with the Black Country documentary, I was like, oh, this is good. Ooh, maybe not that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Ooh. You know, so that's why, you know, we started this podcast, because I was like, there needs to be a place for this conversation, you know, right. Instead of, because we have to control the narrative that we want portrayed of ourselves, because someone else will do it. Yeah, and once it's out there, you can't take it back. So it's up to us to kind of push the image and push the conversation that we want to have with and about our people. So absolutely, with this, the whole Old Town Road thing.
Back to Black Reins.
Yeah.
That's why I say I try to control what people see.
Exactly.
So when they get Old Town Road nosy, they come to my page, I want them to see what I need them to see.
Exactly. And I was even disappointed. Me and Caitlin did a live chat about this. Disappointed about how, like, Old Town Road could have really been for the culture, but it kind of wasn't. It was like, oh, hey, you know, there's black cowboys, but we're just going to talk about the one that doesn't ride the horse. You know, he made the song, but, you know, there was that exposure was just, like, after the fact from people using it in their own videos. So that was kind of frustrating for me, you know, being somebody who is passionate about this as well, and you know, trying to push that image, and then especially the music video, I was just like, really, this is what we got? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but remember, it served a purpose. Remember, it reached youth. As an adult, it can be kind of gimmicky, cartoonish, as I look at it, from a, like you said, serious about the whole horse community. But it's tailored gimmicky to the youth. It's corny, guys. I mean, I look at it. But for a kid, my kids can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
And so it's perfect. They all, right now, you know, my kids, they have fell out of love with horses. So I bought them 4-wheelers. You know, I still keep them. But once this Old Town Road came out, now all the kids in the neighborhood, my daddy got a horse. They're proud to say I have horses. Let's go out. Can this kid go out with us today and feed the horses and all? So it serves a purpose that we have to see. So there's a positive and negative to it. But we also have to say, you know what? Now, for all the things that you guys got going on in children's books and podcasts and young black equestrians, that's important because you see the youth. They're the ones that's going to keep it going. Not the adults going to, they'll jack it up. The grown folks will just, they will turn this movement into something totally crazy. But the kids, they're the ones that we have to now get serious about and take that fire lit and help get them to the next place. So now we got their attention and say, hey, little Jimmy, there's 480 that we can get you involved in, that we can be around the horse. Hey, little Jimmy, there's riding lessons. Let's go out and do this. Let's do something different for the summer. Do a youth equestrian camp. Hey, little Jimmy, there's other great people like Donna Cheek and Felicia Chandler that we can get you involved in, and Hunter Temple. Wow. You know, there are other black kids doing this as well. Look at some of these Burkhalters and the Rena Johnsons and all of them. You know, so we got a chance now to see them, and I think that's what's important about what you guys have going on. Keep that fire lit.
Yes, like Stanford said, keep that fire lit. Subscribe to our podcast to check out part 2 of Stanford Moore's interview.
Like us on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with all things Young Black Equestrians. Until next time.